Hi guys, welcome back to today's podcast. Today I have Taylor from Inner Peace Skin. So excited to just get to know you a little bit better. I know we're finally meeting in person for the first time, so this is super exciting. I just want to hear first a little bit about you and where Inner Peace Skin came from. I see cherries all over your Instagram. Yes. I love it. So I just want to kind of hear where that came from.
Yeah, totally. So Inner Peace Skin, the name behind my business, really kind of came from the motive behind me wanting to start a business in the first place and kind of wanting to sort of bridge a gap between, you know, the like fluffy side of aesthetics and facials and self-care with corrective treatments as well. And also just wanting to kind of put more of an emphasis on the self-care, like the true self-care aspect that does come along with these types of services, because I do feel like sometimes in the industry it can be seen as a little superficial or kind of like vain in some ways, and I just kind of wanted to change the narrative with that, and that all starts with, you know, my business's name. So that's kind of where the name comes from. I'm also really into yoga and Reiki and crystals and just like all the fun little hippie things. So Inner Peace kind of like felt right, because also with starting my business, it like really is my inner peace, which is so cheesy to say, but it is. So that was a big reason the name sort of came to be, and it just felt right. And then as far as cherries go, it's in my logo. They're all over the dang place, but I mean, first and foremost, they're just cute. I wanted something that would be recognizable, that is seen, you know, that could really help to build the strength and kind of like be the core of my brand. And I just thought they were cute. And also, you know, like in my logo, there's just two little cherries hanging side by side. And typically, you know, when you think of cherries, you like even the emoji, the cherry emoji is just like two cute little cherries. And in my treatment room, you know, I really do focus on my connection and my relationship with my client outside of the treatment room as well. But it's kind of like two peas in a pod, but cuter. And
I love that.
Juicy cherries. And I'm all about like juicy, healthy, glowy skin, you know, like that's what I'm specializing in. So I just thought, you know, it's kind of like in the treatment room, and I'm sure you've experienced this too, but it can be a very intimate setting. I mean, your clients really open up to you and they trust you, and you build this really strong foundation in this really great relationship with them. And I just wanted something to kind of be a symbol of that. So the cherries are kind of like me and my client, little two peas in a pod.
That is so cute. I love the whole branding and bringing the cherries into your business, because honestly, when I see cherries, I think of you. So that is genius. I mean, when we're talking about building a brand, those are the little things that we definitely need to think about. Did you always know that you wanted to bring cherries into it, or was it just kind of, did it happen organically?
Yeah, it honestly did. And it's kind of funny the way it came about, because originally when I was first, you know, beginning my business and wanting to get all the things ready to go, I was working with a graphic designer, just somebody I found on Instagram. And I had actually heard from another esthetician of mine, a friend of mine, that, you know, she was great to work with. So I felt confident about that decision moving forward, helping to build my logo and kind of like get a better feel for my branding. And, you know, scrolling on Pinterest as a girl does, looking for inspo. And I saw a few things, branding things with cherries like in them, or just even the colors, the reds, the pinks. And I just loved that. And I was like, okay, I like this. So I screenshot it. I made a little board and I sent it over to her and was like, okay, I really like the idea of incorporating cherries somehow. And at first I was kind of thinking it would just be cute, but then as I decided on it, and then as, you know, all these themes in my business really came to be what they are, and I kind of felt like I understood my why behind everything, it kind of gave cherries a deeper meaning, I guess. So kind of both, I guess.
I love that so much. And you said you bring corrective and, you know, peaceful treatments together, you know, so that experience. What does a typical like treatment look like for you? Like, what are you doing daily, you would say, on a regular basis?
Yeah, that's a good question. So as of now, I mean, I do lots of just my classic, I call them the glimmer facial, but it's just my fully customized treatment, and it's all inclusive of everything. I mean, aside from microneedling and like certain peels and whatnot, but I mean, any tool I have at my disposal, any massage, any, you know, my crystals, my sound therapy, anything I can incorporate that I feel like my client is in need of, whether that's, you know, for their actual skin on like a physical level or otherwise, we include it in that treatment. And then same thing goes if they want to, you know, request anything like, oh, I'd love a jelly mask today, or I'd love to be dermaplaned or whatever, you know, I mean, as long as it's suitable for them, like, of course we'll do it. So I do tend to do a lot of those. And I guess just some little things that I like to incorporate that might not be like, you know, the typical experience. I always, like on my treatment bed, at the top of the bed where the client's head lies down, I always leave a little affirmation card for everybody. And they get to take it home with them. So, you know, my clients that have been with me since the beginning have like a whole little stack of them now. And like, it's kind of cute because it's like a little souvenir for you, but also I feel like, again, that just kind of like reiterates, you know, the why behind everything I'm doing, and it's just like a fun little thing for them to take home with them.
So cute.
And they love
that
it.
idea.
Yeah.
So, oh my gosh, everybody should do that in their treatment room.
Yes.
That is such a genius idea, and they can keep that stack, and it'll remind them to book their monthly facial. They're like, oh, I need to book my other facial.
Yes.
I need to feel that experience again.
Exactly. Yeah. And I love affirmations, and I love like little physical reminders and little cards and little souvenirs. Like, I'm such a little person that keeps like little trinkets from everything. So that is something we do. And then, yeah, I just incorporate lots of massage. Like you said, the word experience, like that's really something I try to cultivate for every person that walks into my room. And I just want everyone to just feel amazing, and just, you know, of course skin is like such a big part of what I do, but I really feel like the impact that I have on my clients goes deeper than just the skin, you know?
Oh yeah, no, everything about you, your name, your branding, everything ties together. Like, that's why I'm so excited to get a treatment from you tomorrow.
Yes!
I've never actually had a buccal massage before. And so it's going to be such a cool experience. I mean, I see your posts on Instagram all the time. If you guys aren't already following her, you need to. I mean, I just feel that peace when I see your posts. So like, take notes, guys, when you're looking at her page. And, you know, as far as the sound bath and healing and all the crystals too, is that typically for every single service? Like, what does that look like?
Yeah, that's a good question. So again, like with my custom treatments, and I have like a 60 and 90 minute option, it can be included if the client would like it. And, you know, sometimes I get people that really just, you know, only have time for a 60-minute and want to just kind of like get whatever they want to get done. And that's totally great, but it is optional. And then in some of my other facials, I have a little bit more extensive treatments. I have one called the Zen, which is like nearly a 2-hour facial. That's just, I mean, we pull out every little trick in the box. We're doing everything we can during that. So of course those things are included in that facial as well. But I'm actually in the process of kind of reinventing my menu right now, because I'm bringing on a new treatment sound.
Oh my gosh. Is this a secret?
It is.
Oh, I can't wait to see it.
Yes. Well, I'll tell you. But so yeah, that's coming. And so there's a few things in the works. A few things are changing as far as like my menu and treatments go. But I would say that, you know, the kind of the more holistic side of things that I do offer, I really do try to incorporate those, at least a little bit of something in each treatment, just because I feel like that's kind of what makes me the esthetician that I am.
Yeah.
You know?
So I'm assuming you're filling in a gap like that you feel like you need bringing on a new service.
So I felt like the gap that I needed to fill in my business was something a little bit more results driven, kind of like, because everything I do right now is pretty much with my hands. And I really do believe that, you know, our hands as estheticians really are our greatest asset, because you know, there's just so much we can do, and a lot of healing that we can provide without, you know, all these crazy machines and things. But trust me, like, I'm all about a fun treatment, especially one that feels nice. I mean, again, that's like really the core of what I'm trying to do. So I debated between a bunch of different machines to bring on and advanced treatments, but I actually settled on Glacial. So I signed with Glacial. Yes. And I'm really grateful, because I'm actually going to be the first provider in the whole state of Utah. So
heck yeah, that's so exciting. Congratulations.
So excited. Thank you. So that really just, I feel like, is going to be more of an advanced offering for my clients that are looking for something, you know, a little bit more, not necessarily results driven, but just something more advanced in terms of the technology behind it. Yeah. And the treatment itself is just phenomenal. I mean, it treats everything. It's really just treating inflammation, and it's that precision cooling that's helping to reduce inflammation at a cellular level in the skin. You know what I mean? So, and not only that, but it actually stimulates the vagus nerve, which I'm all about this, because again, I really like to create a relaxing and healing environment for my client, regardless of what we're doing. So knowing that we can couple, like, you know, that relaxation and true, like, healing from an internal perspective with that reduction in inflammation, which is obviously going to target everything from rosacea to acne to melasma to, you know, everything in the skin. It's just going to help benefit everything. I'm just thrilled about it. So.
Oh my goodness. So how was that process of like looking into the device? Did you like immediately know you were going to get it, or was it like a little bit of process and thinking?
So definitely lots of thinking. I mean, this is the biggest investment I've made into my business, and really, honestly, ever. Like, this was a big deal for me. And with putting so much love and passion and just like my whole entire heart and soul into my business, like every move I make, I really like to be calculated with, right? Like, we want to be smart with our decisions, especially when it comes to our business, because it's our business. We put our life and our heart and our soul into it. And to be honest, especially from you, I was very, very interested in hydrofacial. I mean, I was really debating on that. I met with the rep. We talked lots about it, and I felt really good about it, but I was like, I just want to wait a little longer just in case, like really explore my options, just with everything that comes along with that. And Glacial is a new treatment that I've seen a few of my very, very favorite estheticians that I look up to utilize that machine and that treatment. So just got some good feedback from them and met with the rep. It was a course of, a couple weeks, really extensively looking into it and researching it and, negotiating and feeling good about it. But yeah, so I did decide on Glacial. I just felt like, I wanted to bring something new to the industry in Utah, I guess, and also just for my clients. And HydraFacial is such an amazing treatment, and I love it so much, and hopefully one day I want to also bring that on. But I felt like Glacial was the better choice just for my clients' needs, and also for kind of like, I feel like it just fits my business model really well with being relaxing, but also results driven, which, I mean, so.
No, that's amazing. Honestly, like even everything you're saying makes so much sense. And I think that's really important when we're investing in such a big amount into our business. You have to think on it, and you have to figure out where like those gaps are coming from. Like when you're bringing on a service, that's a big deal for your clients, and like everything about your business, Glacial sounds like perfect. And I know one day you definitely will have HydraFacial too. I know it. I'm betting on that because I could just see it right now. So you're excited about that. You're bringing that on. Are you going to announce it? Like, how do you like to announce your services?
Yeah. So, and again, I've only been in business since last July. So I'm still like fairly new. Yeah. And I still like kind of figuring out all the little things about announcing things. And this is really the biggest announcement I've made aside from buccal massage. When I got certified in that was definitely a big, exciting thing for me and my clients. But I'm thinking once I know my delivery date, because they have been manufacturing my machine. I mean, I signed a few weeks ago, but it just takes time. So as soon as I know my delivery date, I'll be out of town. So got to arrange around that. But once I know the delivery date, I'll do a little countdown on a story. I
love it.
It's the first announcement. And I've kind of teased a little bit about it. I'm kind of like, planting the seed in people's minds. And even my clients, I let them know like something exciting's coming. Like this is going to be so great for you, blah, blah, blah. But I've sort of just like given little hints, but I'll do a little story announcement and then just slowly build some more hype. And then, like, especially once the machine arrives and I get to set it up, I would love to do, like setting up my Glacial with me, something like that. Because again, it is something new that I don't think a lot of clients at least have seen or really been familiar with. So I'm just excited to be the first provider in Utah. It's just so exciting.
I'm so excited for you. I'm excited to see that announcement and how it all comes together. I love like the little teasers that like you could do with your big announcement. So for your services, what would you say, like for your Instagram and your business, where do majority of your clients come from?
Yeah, that's a great question. I will say when I first began, honestly, like friends and family were very beneficial. I think having my business in the state that I grew up in was a huge head start in some ways. But social media really, and again, like social media it's a grind, right? It's a constant build, and it's something that I'm still working on and really wanting to expand upon and continue to be consistent with, because when I do put out that content, it's such a great marketing tool. I mean, just because it connects you with so many people, there's really no limit. You can be connected to people all over the world. I mean, that's how we got connected, and it's such an awesome tool. It's free too. I'm like, love that, you know? So, but yeah, I would say social media has been great. Just word of mouth as well. Like once I had that initial base of clientele, and some of them were even clients that I built when I was in school as well, just close friends and family, and some of those initial clients that I had, and just by word of mouth, and also social media, I think as well, just getting the word out and kind of showcasing what it is that I'm doing, and how it is a little bit different, and just putting that option out there for those that may be looking for it. And also honestly, like just putting your heart on your sleeve kind of thing, and just I feel like you attract what you are, so like by being and putting out these things into the universe, and also just being consistent with what I'm doing, and really like having that integrity behind every movement that I make, I really feel like that has been a blessing for me, and helped me to attract like really, really amazing clients that I'm just like eternally grateful for, you know how it is.
Yes,
just
absolutely. The connections that we make with our clients are like, it's so much more than just a treatment. It really is like heart and soul experience into that. And like, you're so right. Like going back to the power of social media, like the fact that we connected on there, and then one of your clients moved to Arizona, and she like I started treating her. Like it is so crazy, the power of social media. Like when you put yourself out there, the opportunities are endless, and you just being authentic and being yourself. That's why I was so drawn to your Instagram, because I just felt like I knew you. I felt like I could feel your services. That's why I booked an appointment with you. So it's just so powerful. You're so right. And then one of my last questions for you is going to be buccal massage.
Yes.
How did you get certified in that? What inspired inspired you? I mean, everything you do obviously ties together. So what was your process with that?
Yeah. So originally, well, I better start by saying I've always had jaw issues, like just lots of tension, clicking, headaches. I mean, those things that a lot of people do struggle with. And I do believe that the jaw is just one of those areas that we naturally hold a lot of tension, whether it's subconscious or otherwise. Like, it's just like a universal stress point, kind of like our shoulders. Like, we kind of just like get crunched up and hold a lot of tension in there. And that was always something that I had dealt with and that had bothered me and been something kind of on my mind. Like, oh, I wish I could like do something to help that. And then getting into aesthetic school and just learning more about all these options and how there's so many different things you can do and all these different leeways to take. Another esthetician, one of my very, very favorites that I look up to, Aesthetics by Tara on Instagram. She does buccal massage, and she was the first person I ever saw. She was actually the first esthetician that I ever followed before I was even a student, before I ever even wanted to be an esthetician. And she was the first person I ever saw doing buccal massage, and just hearing her talk about the benefits of it and just watching her videos, like her movements are just so beautiful. Like, I was just so drawn to that, wanted to learn more. So I just did some research, saved up my money, and I believe it was August of last year, so just a month after I'd been in business, which again, this was kind of crazy, like just a month into business, but I just knew I wanted to do it. I flew out to California and did like an in-person full day of training, got certified, came back, took some models, made sure I felt good about it before taking clients for it, and just started taking clients for it. So yeah.
Wow. Oh my gosh. That's so cool that you had somebody in mind that you were inspired by. I mean, the fact that before you're going to be an esthetician, what inspired you to become an esthetician?
Yes. I want to hear your answer for this too.
Okay.
But, I mean, I had always been interested in skincare and healthcare. I actually originally wanted to be a nurse when I graduated high school. So I was pursuing that path. I was going to the University of Utah, doing all the things, and I just felt like it wasn't the right choice for me. So I took a step back, COVID hit. And then, you know, I just started thinking more and more about it, I wanted to get a receptionist job or something at a spa or a hair salon or something, because I was like, you know what? I freaking love women, okay? I just want to be surrounded by girls. I love girls.
Yes.
We're so fun. And also, what a cool industry to be in. I've always, you know, felt like self-care was a really big, important thing for me. So I thought that would be a great opportunity. And I actually interviewed for a receptionist job at a spa. And through that process, I was like, I don't want to be the receptionist. I want to be the one in the treatments making the magic happen.
Yeah.
And then I started really thinking about it and just researching. And I actually hadn't even told River, my husband, this, but we were just driving and we actually passed the school I ended up going to. And he just pointed at it and was like, ooh, like fancy, like skin school. You know what I mean? And I was like, yeah, haha. But that really like planted the seed in my mind. And then I went and toured that school and I just knew, like intuitively, I was like, no, this is what I'm supposed to do. Like, I really think I could really put my heart and soul into this and make a difference for people. And I just knew. So that was kind of how it came about. But
I love that. I actually have a similar story.
Really?
It's so crazy. Yeah. So I found out that I was pregnant with my son at the time. I was only 19 years old, and I always knew I wanted to do something in beauty and like serve others and just make like other women or, you know, feel good. And so just being such a, you know, I wanted to boost people's confidence. I actually wanted to be a makeup artist first. So I actually went to tour the school. My mother-in-law was actually like, well, have you ever heard of like an esthetician or like going into cosmetology? And I'm like, well, I could not do hair for the life of me. There's no way I wanted to do cosmetology, but there was something that intrigued me about aesthetics. And they were like, oh, you learn makeup and you learn skincare. And I just felt like I really wanted to treat the root of like skin. You know, I wanted to not just put makeup on someone's skin. I wanted to make them feel confident without it. So it actually completely transformed for me. And in that moment, I just like, it was the only thing that I felt like I was good at was skincare. Like when I went to school, I mean, I don't know if this was your experience, but like I felt like it didn't feel like I was like just at class. Like it just felt like you're just like so excited to be there. And I've never gotten straight A's on anything in school. So like, I was like, this is a big deal for me. Like I actually genuinely enjoy this.
Yeah.
So, I mean, mine started from like figuring it out so young. And then I, you know, figured it out as I went from thinking I wanted to be a makeup artist, but wanting to help, you know, others confident in their skin. Because like specifically acne, that takes a toll on our clients. And I constantly was seeing people cover up their skin, and I'm like, no, we need to like make you feel good. Yeah, we need to treat it. So that's where my inspiration came from. And I've been doing it for 7 years now. So it's just been such a fun ride. And then your story actually reminded me that when I first started aesthetics, I got my license, and my first job was at Massage Envy, and I was like, this is not it. I do not want to be an esthetician. I was like, this is not what I signed up for. So I actually, you know, worked that for about like maybe almost a year. And then I took a little break because my husband worked he was the full-time breadwinner at the time. And it was when we actually moved I took a little break, then we moved to Florida. In my first job, like I couldn't land a job for some reason in Florida. Like it was really hard for me, but I found a front desk position at a med spa. And I didn't at the time know that medical aesthetics even existed, like corrective services. Like I knew it was a thing, but I didn't knew that estheticians could be that.
Yes.
So I really, really like started my journey at the front desk, and I was the same way as you. I was like, I want to be in the back. Like I want to, and I shoved my way in there. Like there was a point where they like upped me to the manager position, but I was like, I don't want to be a manager. Like you guys just opened up an application like for people to apply to be an esthetician. And I was like, I want to be the esthetician. So the owner at the time was like, no, like you need to be at the front. And I'm like, no, can you at least let me try? And I like literally like pushed my way through the door of being an esthetician. Yeah. And so I got my way. I worked half up at the front desk because I got my way, and then halfway into corrective treatments, and then slowly transitioned fully back into the treatment room. And they weren't too happy with that. I ended up getting fired, but that's a long another story that we're not going to get into. Yeah. But like, I mean, we all find our way throughout. It was, such a journey figuring out like what type of esthetician I wanted to be. That's why I think it's so cool for you that you immediately found what type of esthetician that you wanted to be. I mean, like you were like, I want to do buccal massage. Yeah. Like you're like, sign me up. And then as far as like buccal massage goes, what would you say, like when you say that, like, what does it mean? What even is buccal massage? So
it's a great question. And I mean, sometimes it's also referred to as intraoral massage. So I literally am placing my gloved hands inside of the mouth on both sides of the cheek, or depending on what we're working, but we're working all these muscles of the face. So the masseter muscle is in the back of the jaw here, and that's kind of the main one, the biggest one, the one that, is responsible for helping us chew our food and things like that. And that does tend to be one that holds a lot of that stress, because again, it's like a big tight muscle. I mean, it's just like if you had any sore muscle anywhere, going in and getting that massage is obviously going to relieve that tension, help to oxygenate, bring fresh nutrients to that area, also help stimulate lymphatic drainage as well, because we have, these big lymph nodes near our ear, I mean, all throughout our whole body. But so it's really great for lymphatic drainage as well. But really what it is we're just massaging those delicate muscles of the face. And a lot of them are actually inaccessible from the outside. So you have to go from that internal inside of the cheek area to be able to really work those and relieve that tension. So that's really kind of the gist of what it is, but the benefits are numerous. I mean, it treats TMJ, which is a very common disorder people have that is associated with jaw clicking, tension, headaches, those things we mentioned. But also, even if you don't deal with that, it's the best stress reliever. Like, and I'm so excited to be able to give this to you tomorrow. It's going to be so fun. Yay. But it just feels so amazing. You get that nice, naturally just lifted and sculpted kind of look with just that natural lymphatic drainage and all the sculpting, because we're really just maneuvering the fascia and the tissues and just really getting in there and doing the good stuff. Everybody's like candidate for buccal massage is what I'm hearing. As long as, I mean, unless they have, if somebody had jaw surgery or some kind of procedure or something recently, we would want to make sure that is fully healed up and everything like that. But I mean, there's really no serious contraindications besides that, as long as the skin, of course, is, again, not crazy sunburned or compromised in some way. But pretty much everyone is a candidate and really can receive lots of benefits from it. So it's just so amazing. I'm so excited. So for an esthetician that's maybe like considering it, what would you say is like are the biggest things that you wouldn't suggest it for an esthetician? Like, does it take a certain type of like personality, or like obviously if you hate being in someone's mouth, we wouldn't want to do that. Exactly. No, and that's a really good question. And I get people that ask me that sometimes too. Like, is it weird to have your hand in someone's mouth? But I think it depends on how you are perceiving it, like it's, you go to the dentist, like, is it weird that the dentist hand's in your mouth? I mean, no, because they're in there doing their job, you know what I mean? So as long as you're comfortable with it, and I think you also have to be confident with it, because for someone who's never experienced it, they're kind of like, you're putting your hand in my mouth, like what? You know what I mean? So you just have to be confident with it and know, like, I know what I'm talking about. I know this is going to make you feel like relieve that tension. It's so beneficial. And I think the fact that I also struggled with that jaw tension and and I now, because you can do it to yourself too. Like, just having that pain relief is so beneficial. It's just so nice. And I think having that personal like relation to the benefits of it also kind of helps me relay it to my clients, and they trust me. And I think, I think you have to be somebody who believes in the power of touch too. And like, you don't have to like specialize in massage necessarily, but at least enjoy that, because there are estheticians out there that really like the clinical side of aesthetics, or and there's just different aspects to everything. So I think being somebody who enjoys that side of aesthetics would be a great candidate for that.
Yeah, it's so funny because my first impression of buccal massage, I was like, what are these people doing in their mouth? Like this is a little weird.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I had a few clients that were like, would you ever consider this? And I was like, absolutely not. I'm not putting my hands. So like, you're so right. You have to be like into it. You have to like have that whole experience. You have to be confident. You have to know what you're getting into. I mean, I will receive it, but I won't do it.
Yes,
So I'm like,
rightfully so. I mean, it is definitely just like to each their own. I think that's with every aspect in aesthetics. There's definitely certain things that certain estheticians just love doing, and I'm just like, I don't super love doing that. You know?
No, and I think that you can like really get a feel for someone's touch off social media, because like even you, like I see yours and I'm like, that looks so relaxing, and then I see others and I'm like, that does not look relaxing.
That's very true.
I mean, I think it also is in the hands of the provider as well. But yeah, that's all the questions that I had for you, Taylor. Thank you so much for being on today's episode.
Of course.
If you had to give one advice to an esthetician that's starting out, I know you're a year in, you said, right?
In just a little over in business.
A little over a year. That's so exciting. Congratulations.
Thank
What would
you.
you say, since you've been in business for a year, what would you suggest somebody would start with?
Oh man, in terms of like their own business, or just
anything, like as far as like advice goes?
Okay. Yeah, I would say,
what helped you when you were getting started?
Yeah, honestly, delusional confidence. And I say that with my chest, because you have to just fully believe in yourself and fully believe in what it is that you're trying to create. And I think, whether you choose to work for somebody else, or you do want to start your own business, or whatever, route of aesthetics you choose to pursue, just having full confidence in yourself, even if you're like, if everyone thinks you're crazy. Even my family was like, you're gonna do what? And I was like, sit down, just give me a year, trust me, like I got this. And just like fully believing in yourself, even if it seems a little crazy, but just committing to your vision. And I think having support is so huge. Having support in this industry is so huge. Having connections like beautiful Victoria here, and just so many other amazing estheticians just to lean on, ask questions to, and just building those connections and fostering those relationships is huge, especially if you're a solo esthetician and business owner, because I mean, I'm sure you've experienced this, but it can get lonely sometimes. Like,
100%.
You don't have anyone to like ask questions to or double check things with, or you know what I mean? So it's just great to have connections outside of your business with other like-minded professionals to just sort of continue your own education. And also that's another thing, you got to stay hungry for education, because there's always something to learn. I mean, this industry is expanding. There's so many cool, amazing, innovative things, and you just got to be driven. Like you mentioned, being in school and like loving it. You're like, holy crap, like I'm good at this because I actually like what I'm learning, you know? So I think kind of keeping that momentum moving forward is just going to help set you up for success in all aspects of business and life.
That is such good advice. I love that so much. Everything you said was to the T. I hope that was inspiring for you guys watching this podcast. And lastly, where can people find you?
Oh, yeah. So on Instagram, Inner Peace Skin. I'm also on TikTok, Inner Peace Skin. And then my business is located in Salt Lake City, Utah. So come see me.
I love it. Well, I'm so excited to share my experience with you guys tomorrow. Well, thank you so much for tuning in today. We had so much fun today. Thank you, Taylor, again for coming on. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.